friends.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Say hello and where you're joining us from. How was your week? How was your week? I'll beat you to it.
Pretty good. A few rough patches, but pretty good. And nothing exciting to report home about, but how about you?
Pretty good. I'm enjoying took a part-time job, with my friend, which can be very it can be nerve-wracking because it's something that can easily ruin friendships, but this is something I've been um, very close to for years now. Definitely one of my best friends, and um, we definitely have a really good like communication in our relationship. And so this is something that it was kind of a stepping in a season where she needed help, and then we were talking about it and kind of love it because it means we get to see each other more, especially kid free. And so we're kind of continuing it, but I like it because it's nice to get out, and I learned how to make coffee, which is pretty stoked for me. I mentioned that before. And so we're like, well, as long as it's still working for both of us, we'll keep doing it. When it stops, that's okay. We'll stop and just be friends. And that's fine. So I've been enjoying doing that. Oh, I'm clicking. I got my nails did. My pastor's daughter paints and like does like they're called gel X. I don't actually know what that means, but it's like nails. They're so pretty. Like a little line detail. I'm clicking everything all the time right now. It's just so sad. I can't. Literally, it's anything I can click my nails on. That's like
Well,
legit.
me over here. I'm sporting the old person nails that don't grow very well, and when they do grow, they start to bug me, and so I clip them off. And anyway,
I love being in a season where I can have because like I had like my nails underneath are short. Um, just because I learned I worked at a daycare for 8 or 9 years and learned I couldn't have long nails because I'm not the most spatially aware person, and so I scratched kids all the time. And having little babies, kind of the same. And so, like, finally being in a season of life where I don't need to be so hands on with children, I feel pretty.
you wear gloves now when you do your dishes.
Me too, won't I? Just want to get credit underneath.
Yeah. Well, it also like I don't know about those style of nails, but typically it pulls.
It'll work its way off. I mean, it's gels, but it's a little different, but yeah. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's it. It's just kind of an ordinary week around here. Um, so, yeah, this week we thought we would chat with you guys about the lost art making. We live in a world that just doesn't, and you watch shows like full disclosure, I've never watched it, but you've told me about it. The Alaska one.
The Homesteaders, Alaska, the Last Frontier.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just that watching that because like they have like outbuilding. It's like full of random broken stuff, and because you couldn't just run to the store or just even more likely these days hop on Amazon and get next day delivery.
Yeah.
It was like, well, this broke. Okay, well, let's go out to our shed of broken things and paw through and see what we can use to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's how everyone used to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, everyone used to live that way, and actually, um, it was a war slogan. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. It was a whole campaign.
For what war?
World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And the British, they have their own version of it. In Britain, they have their own version of it. And then the U.S. picked it up. But use it up, wear it out, and make do. They had on their posters. And so they were basically reminding everybody to save all your scraps. You know, I mean, it was a time of rationing, and um, they were trying to preserve things for the troops, and so at home, like everybody was being asked to.
Yeah, well, I think Joy Dennett said it served to remind citizens that every scrap of rubber, metal, fabric, and food saved at home directly supported troops fighting
Mhm.
overseas. So yeah, definitely this concept, literally everything. There's value to it.
And for me, my mama was, that was her generation. And so I very much grew up with that, um, you know, using things up and making do and repurposing things. And um, lost the word I was going to say.
I didn't care.
But I think a lot of, I don't know. I think I passed on a little bit of it to my kids, but I don't know, these newer generations, how much of it they, because my parents were a little bit older than a lot of my friends' parents. So it was like a little bit generationally off. So I'm not sure how many people, it's like we've definitely become a throwaway society. Oh, it's, and honestly, businesses, there used to be businesses that supported, yeah, they existed to fix things. Every town had a little fix it shop where you took your toaster. And now we can buy toasters for $10 at Walmart.
You can't get them fixed anymore.
And you can't get them fixed. So some of it is, it's a bigger societal thing.
I agree. I mean, now it's like appliance repair isn't as much of a thing anymore. So we found, really good handyman. And really, I mean, all he is like, I mean, we go back to Little House on the Prairie a lot. So if you don't like Little House on the Prairie, I'm sorry. Um, but what is wrong? No, but you think like that was like every man back in the day.
They had to know how to do everything.
They had to know how to do everything and kind of
they
just
figured
make
it out.
work. And that's really what a handyman is somebody who just knows how to like a little of everything, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, like they know enough to get it. And so we found a really good handyman that we've used for some things. And then I found YouTube, plus it's whatever it is. But like there's like old handymen and like older dads who get on there and like teach you how to do things. And so um I've been able to do some of our own appliance repair. I fixed a dishwasher we'd gotten on Marketplace. I've done some repair on the washer and dryers we've had. Um, and I think all of that stems from just kind of getting, that's like, I'm getting off track. Um, the concept of fixing things is really becoming lost and making do when we don't have exactly what we need.
Yeah, we're so busy and it's like, it's just not worth the time. I mean, how many times did your dad always say, it's like, it's quicker for me to just go work a couple hours of overtime and pay somebody else to, to do it or to replace the thing. Just because, and he did fix a lot of things.
He did
for sure. But there was some things that's just like, it's not worth the time involved to fix it, which is sad. But
and I think in the world we live in, I mean, I've said it. Like the kids will be like, "Oh, this thing broke. Let's try to fix it." And I've been like caught myself saying like, "Throw it away. I don't care. It's not worth fixing." And I will contend, in my defense, it's usually junky toys that really aren't worth fixing. But I also think it's a principle that I'm telling them.
Yeah.
Because it's something that matters to them. And I'm telling them, when something you care about breaks, just throw it away instead of trying to fix it. So it's something that I think I've been really feeling challenged lately, which is kind of what led to this conversation. As I've been feeling challenged, like my lost art of making do, because we did grow up with that to an extent. We didn't go shopping all the time, and now, I mean, this was,
and we didn't have Amazon back then either.
Yeah, I saw a video last night.
So easy.
If you were born before like 1992 or something like that, you existed before the first text message. And like, not everyone can claim that, you little Gen Zers. But we were before, you were before Google, you were before Amazon, and all those things that were just like mass producing stuff and taking away the need to just kind of figure it out. With Google, we can immediately like find a
You
replacement
had to
or do
get in the
something.
car and go to town, and sometimes you had to drive all over town to find what you needed.
Yeah, you have to drive around
And
and figure it
so,
out. And sometimes you figured out like, well, this is close enough. I could make this work. Yeah.
well,
And now it's like Amazon
yeah.
exists. So like something breaks. What do? We don't like, okay, well, how can I make this work? Like, let's just say organizational. Like I've had like a bin I was storing stuff in get broken. And it's like, well, I could just look at the other bins I have and figure out if there's a better way to organize and exist within what I already own. Or I could hop on Amazon, spend $7 and in, you know, 8 hours have it delivered to my doorstep.
Well, and I think one other area that we haven't really touched on yet is in the area of food.
Mm.
And wasn't really thinking about food, so I didn't pull anything up, but I know I've read the statistic. It is horrifying, the numbers, the amount of pounds of food that we throw away in America. It is just obscene. And I think part of it is as a whole society, like, we don't really understand what it is to not have to. We have all the choices, we have all these options, we have all the programs that provide, fill in all the gaps for us. And I think learning how to, so that when you do hit a,
Okay. Like went dead.
oh,
Then I moved. That's like a lot. Trying really hard to play. But
when you do hit those financial bumps, you're out of work, or, um, you know, hospitalization, big bills hit, or whatever, and um, you can't um, you can't buy your normal groceries. What do? Well, if you've learned how to make do, you go scour what you do have and figure out. I mean, there was times when you were growing up that it was like, go through, okay, well, I make some random casserole or some random soup because that would go further, and use whatever I had.
yeah.
And I think also, being aware of what you do have and not letting it spoil. I think it's really part of that mentality of use it up.
Use it.
Yeah,
Before you have to.
before
you
you
have to throw it away once it rots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that when if we kind of start with like food, I agree. I think it's a certain amount of when money's tight. I definitely know that that's an area where I learned from you to make do for sure was in food, because there was seasons where we were doing well financially, and there were seasons of struggle, right, and seasons of lean, and you guys figured out how to make it work. I learned, you did Gleaners, which is a program that some areas of the country have. Probably every area has some variation of it, but the concept is like Bruce going into the fields and gleaning the leftovers from the farmers, I guess. So the same concept is gleaners go to grocery stores and they take the food that's past date but not spoiled, and you work together, and you have like a store, basically a building that they keep it all in, and then you can like shop from it. And so I learned to eat that like milk is actually still good for about a week after its due date,
depending.
My children like to take the milk out and then just leave it out while they're eating breakfast. So it will usually spoil before the due date. So I think that kind of goes with the art of making do, is learning to recognize. So for like milk, I've learned to recognize it gets a sweeter smell and a sweeter taste. And I will notice the taste before I will notice the smell. So a lot of times if I'm like on the fence, I'll just pour a little in the glass and take a sip, and I'm like, that's turning sweet. Let's dump it today. But
on that note,
once it goes
sweet, you can use it for other things. The girls were making banana muffins this week, and we were, looking for making do with what we had to get it done. But we talked a lot about that. It's like, my mama would save all the leftover bread. She would save, the ones that got a little stale at the end and the heels and stuff. And then she would make bread puddings. And you can use that. You have to be paying attention to
Yeah.
what your thing, but then you can make use of
Right.
that milk that's
A little
a
spoiled.
little
A little
spoiled.
spoiled. I think on that, I mean, part of the society message is throw it away, right? Throw
Hmm.
it out. Don't be weighed down by the clutter. And we're being falsely, the clutter is like the good stuff that you could make, do, and reuse.
Hmm.
And then, like, let's keep the junky toys and
Hmm.
the excessive amount of clothing and all the electronics and all the things. And if we simplified our lives
Hmm.
and we really had what really mattered.
Oh my.
Hi, friends. Sorry, we had to relocate. Someone started pressure washing outside. So here we are. But food. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's being intentional and taking time to notice when stuff starts to go and then just like trying to use it up. So, like you said, I mean, learn how to make. Every girl should know, every human should know how to make a decent like white sauce.
Hmm.
Because you make that, boil some noodles, you can toss any
Hmm.
veggies, just mix it all up. Um, learn how to like do a few basic recipes, like a chicken noodle soup with the chicken broth noodles, and then you can throw whatever you want in there.
Hmm.
Knowing to do a couple basic meals like that can save so much waste because you just like, okay, well, this is what we got. Instead of running to the store
Hmm.
to, get all the ingredients specifically for this meal, let's go ahead and just like make a one pot mashup of all the food we have on hand.
Right. Well, another thing, well, what I was going to say is, some of it is just you have to, even when you're in plenty, keeping that mentality of making do in your
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Um, things like, and some of that comes from educating yourself, because there was things that, even though my mama was of that era and she taught me, but there's some things she didn't, or I didn't learn from her. Maybe she
Mm-hmm.
did them and I just wasn't aware. But I've learned from other people who are of that age bracket. One is, and you have to be intentional and you have to have the freezer space for it, but you can save all your all the stuff that we throw away, so much stuff that can, like onion, the
Mm-hmm.
skins and the ends of onions and garlic and our veggie peels and all that. If
Mm-hmm.
And then like our chicken carcasses, which I know is not your favorite, but you could put those things in the freezer and then you can put them in a pot, or if you have like roasts, you can save the bones there for soup and
Mm-hmm.
boil them. Um, so even though you're like, right now we're good, but save those things intentionally and put them away, and then you have them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not you're make
Making do.
you're making do.
You're
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 not
being
wasting.
intentional about
Yeah,
not wasting because that's a huge
yeah,
part of making do is not wasting.
yeah. There's
Um,
still a lot of nutrients in that stuff that we usually just scrape off into the trash can, or
mhm.
well,
I think
I'm
kind of
not 100%
transitioning.
about it.
We're not
I
perfect.
have seasons.
We're inspiring.
Mhm.
Like we're inspiring you guys. We're inspiring
Don't
ourselves.
do as I
But
do. Do as I say.
no,
Just kidding.
but it's not about
Yeah,
achieving it
it's just
perfectly. It's about how can we maybe
mhm.
apply more of this.
What can we implement? Maybe some of
Mhm.
it's not on your radar. I mean,
You
you
just don't
don't
have
have
the
the
capacity.
capacity. That's the word, not radar.
Yeah. So I think that on the art of making do, as we move away from food, like one thing I've really done that has like saved our finances is things I need. I put on the list, or I will find what I want on Amazon, and then I put it in the cart and then save it for later. And I wait and I make myself wait like 3 weeks if I can, or a month.
Hmm.
And then I come back and like whenever I do need something, like
It
I don't know,
stays an
right?
urgent need.
Yeah, if it stays an urgent need, but then I can like revisit it
Hmm.
and see like, oh, okay, do I still need that? Do I want that? And many things that I thought we needed,
Hmm.
I had to have that it was going to change our world. I found I could do other stuff in the meantime and it worked just fine. Just recently I was thinking, oh, what would be really handy is if we had like a dry erase board for school that I could pull out to write the words that like do like it's basically the end of or at the beginning of a lesson we do like a review of the previous and then I give them kind of an intro to this one. And so usually there's like keywords for the review and there's keywords to be looking for in the new lesson. I was like, "Ah, I should get a dry erase board, like, yay big, that I could write that out ahead of time. That'd be really nice. And maybe like a little stand to put it on. Yeah, I need that." And then I was going through all the craft supplies and getting rid of a bunch because my kids have kind of transitioned out of the kid crafts and into older child crafts like watercolors and sketching and things like that. So I was getting rid of a bunch of it and boxing it up. And I noticed I had gotten each of them their own, a couple years ago, I got them each their own dry erase board. And it's only like an 8.5 by 11 size. Um, and I was just going to get rid of them. I was like, you know what? Pull one of those out, clean it up. Turns out that little dry erase board propped up by a cup of coffee or a flower pot if we're outside works just as good as a new big one with its own little easel stand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very real. So I think that just doing that of making myself pause and wait because it's on my brain that I want it or need it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start seeing stuff around. I'm like, oh, you know what? I could use that. And that
Right.
would work
Yeah.
just fine.
Well,
Like, it might not be perfect, but it'll work fine.
what do we talk about when we're talking about home decor? Shop your own home first. You want to freshen up a room, look around the rest of your house, see what you have that you can move around or
It'll feel
use
fresh,
in a different way to make it feel fresh. And that's the same, it's the same concept. But yeah, I like that, you know, putting that pause button on it, and, you know, and consciously keeping your eyes peeled, like, what
Oh,
do I
that would
really
work really good
do
for
I
that.
really need that, or would and sometimes, I mean, for me, sometimes I've found that because this is all prepackaged and ready to go for the low price of $9.95,
Yeah.
I think I need that. But then when I find something else, I'm like, oh, this is like way better. This is like, I like this even better. It has, it's something I already have. It has some meaning attached to it. Yeah. So.
And I think that, a lot of making do is, yes, it involves fixing things. It involves using what you already have or making the most of what you have. But also some of it just means existing at what we would consider to be subpar. I think about, like, for example, in home decor, one thing I really want to bring in is a lot of timer candles so that when the evening comes, the big lights go off and or don't come on depending on the rooms. They just never come on. And all the timer candles come on. It's better for your body as you prepare to sleep, the natural release of melatonin and the other things it does in your body. Having not big lights, but soft lights is really good for that. But also, um it's just pretty. And so I really wanted that. And Costco used to carry, it was like an 8 or a 12 pack. And they do it like in the holiday time, I think in the fall. They bring in these, they were like real wax coated timer candles. I love them. And I used to have a bunch of them and then they've gotten broken and stuff because toddlers. And so about a year ago, I decided I really wanted them, or no, a couple years now. And every year I'd look in Costco only gets these ones now. They're covered in these like fairy lights, and I didn't like those. Um, and so I've just been living without, and I've been looking on Amazon, but they're so expensive. And this summer, that was something that was really big on my list, and I got a lot. I mean, I probably got over 20 different candles, and for the most part, I have remotes that work with all of them, but a lot of them are actually using just because it's kind of universal, just the one remote. And I've been able to scatter those throughout my house and paid pennies on the dollar, compared to what I would have paid. So I made do and I lived in what was subpar in my mind of what I wanted for a couple years. And then I was able to pick it up secondhand. Yes, some of the candles have little like scratches or dents in them. Um, they're not all perfect and brand new, but what stays perfect and brand new? And also, it's a candle, and also it's dim lighting. So, like, I could be fussy and get brand new just so I can have it all pretty and perfect, but like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be perfect. And so, this was a way I saved money. I stretched my family's finances. I existed in a what I consider to be like not what I wanted state. And then I was able to get what I needed for cheaper, what I wanted for cheaper. So I think waiting can get you better deals and sometimes realize you don't really need it.
Right. Well, I think another area where, again, I've read the statistics and they're horrifying. And we all know, I think we all know the clothing industry is just,
Hmm.
it's,
Really bad. Bad for the world, bad for the
yeah,
people.
all the way around. And, for me, I've come to a place in my life where, um, I'm not quite there on under things yet. So I do buy those new and,
I don't ever be
and
there.
certain
Mhm.
shoes, but, I don't, only because I don't I don't pick up a lot. I don't have like a lot of different types of shoes now, but
Mhm.
I mean, I did buy one at a garage sale, a cute little pair of shoes at a garage sale.
Mhm.
Whereas I used to would go to the shoe store and buy cute little shoes there. Um, so for me, like buying, my clothes secondhand and trying to slim my wardrobe down,
Mhm.
it kind of inflated when I got on this garage sale and thrift store kick this year.
I know.
But and I think there are cases where, you know, good, for you, if you need good work boots or work shoes, um, you know,
Right.
good,
Well,
solid
and
things.
some shoes mold to your feet.
Right.
So stuff that you're doing a lot of work in,
Right.
or a lot of like running, like your running shoes or your tennis shoes or like work boots. I almost would get those new just for the reason of making sure it fits your foot really well.
Mhm.
But like, dress shoes or sandals for, tootling around in and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Oh, for
You
sure.
don't need brand new.
And I think, I try to save my new clothes purchases now for something special, like when I go
Hmm.
somewhere special. You go,
Hmm.
if you travel and you want to get a hoodie or
Hmm.
hat or whatever. Um, just better for the world at large, and realizing I don't need brand new clothes. And honestly, most of the brand new clothes out there are just garbage. The stuff I have bought just falls apart.
Yeah.
So, finding, a lot of times you can find those expensive, high quality brands for
Hmm.
a lot less
Hmm.
money.
Even
Um,
when you're wanting like Columbia for like,
mhm. Or
outdoor gear.
marketplace, other
Yeah,
place.
go on marketplace or, we have right here in Caldwell, we have the Edit,
Mhm.
which is a great secondhand like rent a closet boutique, which is a really up and coming concept.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, there's opportunities or, yard sales are all really great options for buying secondhand, even if you don't want to go physically to a local store. I mean, there's places like Vinted, ThreadUp,
Mhm.
and a couple others that do the secondhand eBay for secondhand clothing.
Same for books. I mean, there's so many things
Mhm.
that we can make do with you know, for less. It's going to save our
Mhm.
budget. It's going to
Save
um,
the planet,
save the planet.
one extra piece of manufactured product at a time.
And I think the more we make do, the sooner the industries at large will eventually get the point that, hey, we don't really need to make all this stuff anymore
Hmm.
because it's just not
It's not
going
selling.
anywhere. Yeah.
They won't do it if it's not profitable. I mean, you
Right.
think like deodorants. 10 years ago, finding a deodorant that didn't have aluminum in it,
Mhm.
you had to make it yourself or find some like
Mhm.
obscure small company that was doing it, and it was this whole extra process. And then the market grew enough
Mhm.
that companies start paying attention, and now like all your major brands have, they still have the regular ones, but they also have an aluminum free option.
Mhm.
And laundry soaps, used to be like it was all super fragranced, it was all full of
All
junk,
phosphates and stuff. Yeah.
and enough people were buying alternative or making their own that now the major ones, Tide, Gain, like all of them, they now
Mhm.
have like a free and clear option. It doesn't have all the products. So yeah, they listen to where the money is. And
Mhm.
so when we
Your
show that
your
like
dollars or your voice.
your dollars are your voice, exactly. So when we show by our spending habits, what we value, like companies will shift and do that. And I think that as long as there's a market to do an entirely new wardrobe every season, companies are going to keep producing it. As long as there's a market for, if we get back to like we want to repair things, we want to fix things,
Mhm.
because that's some of it too. I was thinking is it's buying quality
Mhm.
over quantity. And when you buy something that's actually fixable,
Mhm.
so like we switched from a fancy new washer and dryer um to it's stacking even, so it's really not that fancy. But it's one of the old ones. But
Mhm.
dude, it's real parts. Like it's fixable. Um so I think that when you buy things that are higher quality or they're something that you can repair or fix, that makes a difference too. You know, because you're not having to buy
Mm-hmm.
new ones all the time because it lasts longer. It holds up to life.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
So I think there's value in pausing and thinking about how
Mm-hmm.
can we make do with what we already have.
Mm-hmm.
How can we repurpose, reuse, use up, and fix what we have instead of buying.
Well, and it's like hot topic is the economy and
Mm-hmm.
how everything's so expensive. Fuel's
That's right.
expensive, groceries, everything's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So having, you're putting more into your family's well
Mm-hmm.
by learning how to make do, by
Yeah.
learning how to, what, we don't need to, we don't need to throw this away yet. We can repair this. We can get a little more use out of it.
Toothpaste tubes.
Mm-hmm.
How much product is left behind
And
when we
lotion
throw away?
bottles.
Yeah. Is like when it's done, we do with our kids' toothpaste. When it's
Not
empty,
mine.
we cut the top off and like the kids scrape out the inside until it's all gone. And yes, you might tell me that's not hygienic. God made dirt, don't hurt. Like they're swapping
Yeah,
bodily fluids and
no.
stuff all the time
I,
anyway. So
I
like
squeeze mine. I haven't done that
yeah.
trick, but yeah, I'll think, oh, I'm out of toothpaste. I need a new tube, and I'll see, and I'll think, oh,
How much longer
I
can
just,
this go?
I can get one more day out of this, and then I get another day, and I'm like, I bet I could still get one more day, and it's like,
until you absolutely
yeah,
cannot. Yeah, get the most of
and I think
get.
we have a tendency to use too much too. You don't, a lot of people glob like a big glob on there, and you don't need a lot. So when you get down there and you're making it stretch, but yeah, making those things count, because even if you are financially in a place where you don't feel like you need to make those sacrifices,
They're plain, but they're yummy.
Um, you're it's like couponing or whatever, right? You're that savings for your family that can go into something else. It can go into a vacation, or it can go into a new used game, because
we're expensive.
Yeah. Puzzles. I mean, I was in this mindset of buying new puzzles because I used to be so paranoid that of not paranoid, but leery of used puzzles because they're going to have missing pieces. And you know what I figured out? It doesn't really matter. I bought brand new ones and managed to lose pieces before I've ever finished it. When I can pick them up at a garage sale for $1 instead of like, instead of like $15-20 at the store, I can do a lot more of them.
Heck yeah. And there's like one or two pieces missing. You're like, oh well. It's gonna be okay. Yeah. I mean, we've got a whole stack and we probably spent, I mean, even let's just say $1. I know some of them we got for cheaper. But let's just say $1 each. So we spent maybe $50 this summer on puzzles. And we've got 50 puzzles to do at least.
Yeah.
And then, for us, we do them and then box them back up, and I'm going to sell them next summer for $1. And guess what? Then I can buy more puzzles, and it becomes like this initial investment of $50. So yeah, I think it's accepting it doesn't have to be perfect, which is hard in our culture. I think we expect it to be the best or to be perfect or flawless, and that doesn't exist. That's not real.
I think another aspect of making do is also realizing you don't always have to own something. I think we've lost that art of borrowing things from our neighbors, or maybe choosing as a family, hey, let's something that we don't use that often. How about if we all chip in and buy it, and then we can all have the use of it. Or utilizing other lending. There's a lot of different types of lending libraries out there.
Yes.
And then deciding, okay, what book do I really, for me, like with books, now it's like I try to borrow them and read them first, and it's like, is this one that I really, really want in my library? And then I try to find it secondhand, so it's not, brand new. That's making do.
Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts? How do you make do? What are ways that you stretch your dollar and stretch your resources and make everything just like last a little longer, even if it's not perfect? I'd love to hear.
Yeah. I mean, it's really endless. I mean, I feel like we were just rapid firing these different areas of our life, but
we could go on and on.
Yeah, it's like, and sometimes just start small. Find the little things that, you know what, I don't, yeah, this one thing.
What's one habit of making do can you implement? Don't do it all. I'm one of those people that's like, I read a book on something. I'm like, I'm all in. And I last 2 weeks because it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
So don't do it all. Take one idea and implement that. And then, in a month or two, it's going good and you like it and it works for your family. Pick another habit to try to implement and see if that works for your family. So it's not all going to work for everybody. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be perfect in your imperfections. There's stuff I won't do. I will not boil a chicken to get all the meat off the bones and to make your bone broth and all that. I won't do it. I know it's great. Good for you. I won't do it. So I think that you just find what's going to work for your family.
For sure.
It's not going to work the same as it. Yeah.
For sure. See.
I gotta go see what my kids are doing. It sounds like they're a mix of having fun and fighting, so it'll be exciting.
Always
Hope you have a
is.
good week, friends.
Bye.